a slogan that's become legendary, tied to one of the most irresistible snacks on the planet, Lay's potato chips. And honestly, once you open the bag, you'll get it. These thin, golden crisp slices aren't just a snack. They've become part of daily routines for millions. And yeah, even a full-blown addiction for some. In this video, we're taking you inside the Frito-Lay factory to uncover how these iconic bags of Lay's potato chips are made. Trust us, it's a crunchy journey you won't want to miss. This is one of PepsiCo's largest and most advanced factories in Europe, and it's where millions of bags of Lay's are made, the same ones we casually snack on every day. With a jaw-dropping output of around 4 tons of potato chips per hour, this facility processes over 750 tons of raw potatoes daily, running more than 4 production lines non-stop to keep the crispy goodness coming. PepsiCo is now one of the world's biggest potato buyers, sourcing up to 240,000 tons annually. And of course, only the highest quality spuds make the cut to become Lay's. The journey begins in vast potato fields, where harvest season is in full swing. Since potatoes grow underground, farmers use a specialized digging machine. This powerful rig can reach up to 10 inches deep, cleanly lifting entire plants from the soil, roots, rocks, dirt, and all. Everything gets loaded onto a vibrating conveyor screen that shakes off excess soil while sorting through up to 40,000 potatoes per minute. From there, the potatoes are transferred directly into trucks driving alongside the harvester. This synchronized setup keeps the operation smooth, steady, and interruption-free. Once full, the trucks head straight to a nearby storage hub, a massive facility purpose-built to handle hundreds of tons of fresh potatoes every single day. Next, the potatoes are funneled into an optical sorter, massive machines running at full throttle, all with one critical mission: finding the perfect spuds. Fresh, firm potatoes ride along a conveyor belt, passing through a sophisticated scanning system. Here, high-precision sensors inspect each potato in detail, analyzing its size, shape, and color with incredible accuracy. Meanwhile, nimble pneumatic robotic arms spring into action, swiftly removing clumps of dirt that got mixed in with the potatoes. They move so fast, it's nearly impossible to follow with the naked eye. Finally, any potatoes that don't make the cut, those that are bruised, diseased, or just too small, are instantly ejected from the line. Only the top-tier spuds move on to cold storage. Freshly pulled from the earth and still dusted with soil, the potatoes are gently placed onto a conveyor belt and moved into massive wooden crates. From there, they continue their journey into a cold storage facility, with enough room to hold a staggering 40 million potatoes at once. Here, the spuds rest anywhere from a few weeks to several months, depending on production schedules. And when the Frito-Lay factory calls for a new batch, forklifts get to work, hauling the crates out of storage and onto a conveyor leading straight to the washing station. This is the first step in getting the potatoes camera ready, mainly to scrub off any dirt and debris, because Frito-Lay is paying for potatoes, not the soil they came with. Next up, a team of workers performs a final manual inspection, weeding out any stragglers that don't meet quality standards. Clean, shiny, and prepped for glory, the potatoes roll onto the belt one last time, this time into the waiting containers at the back of a truck. And from here, things speed up fast. In less than 24 hours, these fresh spuds will arrive at the plant and become Lay's classic. When a truckload of potatoes arrives at the factory gate, the entire vehicle is lifted onto a massive hydraulic platform, then slowly tilted forward at about a 30-degree angle. And then, like a tidal wave of tubers, thousands of potatoes come tumbling down onto the conveyor belt below. From there, the potatoes are routed to the incoming quality control area, where random samples are pulled for starch content testing. Even though the spuds were already washed once back at the farm, the entire load is sent through an industrial washing system all over again. It's not just about cleanliness, it's also about protecting the factory's precision equipment. Just one tiny speck of leftover dirt could scratch a blade or mess with the peeling machines and other delicate systems downstream. This high-powered rinse uses a combination of intense water jets, industrial brushes, and a swirling water vortex to make sure each potato comes out spotless. This system is no slouch. It can wash up to 6 million potatoes a day. Next, the potatoes enter one of 6 large-scale peelers. each lined with a rough, abrasive material on the inside. As the machine spins, the potatoes tumble and roll, rubbing against the gritty surface which gently scrapes off the skin. At the same time, high-pressure water jets spray the spinning spuds, washing away the loosened peels. Once peeled, the potatoes pass through an advanced camera system that scans each one in real time. In just a split second, these cameras can detect signs of rot or visual defects, and if something's off, a mechanical finger shoots a targeted puff of air to eject the faulty potato from the stream for other uses. The good ones move on along a specialized conveyor system. Here, an automated sorter separates the crop by size. Only standard-sized potatoes fall through the slots for further processing, while oversized ones are diverted to a cutting station where they're halved before continuing down the line. To make sure nothing slips through the cracks, workers are stationed along the conveyor for one last round of human inspection. They keep a sharp eye out for damaged, bruised, or partially peeled potatoes that may have escaped the machines. If they spot any spuds that are still too large, they'll slice them in half right there on the spot. Next, the potatoes are loaded onto a conveyor and dropped into a rotating drum slicer. Inside, powerful centrifugal force flings each potato outward, pressing it against razor-sharp blades waiting at the perimeter. In a flash, each spud is precisely sliced into 35 uniform chips, each one exactly 0.06 inches thick, the perfect cut for a Lay's chip before it hits the fryer. Right after slicing, quality control technicians continuously check the thickness of the chips. Even the slightest variation can ruin the texture. Too thick, and the chip turns out flat and heavy. Too thin, and it curls or folds unevenly. The goal? A perfectly even saddle-shaped curve. That's signature Lay's look. Depending on the product line, the slicing blades are switched out. Lay's Classic uses straight blades for that smooth, traditional cut. Lay's Wavy or Ruffles, on the other hand, use serrated blades to create bold, rippled edges that not only look great, but also add an extra crunch. Once sliced, the chips drop into a fast-moving stream of water that carries them straight to the washing station. There, they tumble through a spinning drum and go through multiple rinse cycles. First a soak, then a high-pressure spray from above, followed by a second water bath and another round of jets. All of this is designed to wash off surface starch. If left behind, the starch would cause the chips to stick together during frying. Next, the potato slices are dried and transferred to the fryer. They're cooked in a hot blend of sunflower oil. The thin slices are dropped into a massive continuous fryer over 40 feet long, where they're fully submerged in a bubbling mix of sunflower, canola, and vegetable oils. The temperature hovers around 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and the chips fry for roughly 3 minutes. But both time and temperature are adjustable, fine-tuned based on each batch's starch and moisture levels, which are carefully measured using a simple but effective test: how the slices float in the oil. As the chips fry, steam escapes from inside the slices, and the evaporated water is replaced by oil. That's why oil needs to be constantly replenished during the process. But Lay's doesn't just pour in oil randomly. They've got a secret formula: a consistent 50-50 blend of fresh oil and used oil. If the oil is all new, the chips soak up too much of it and end up overly greasy. If it's all used, they turn too dark and lose that fresh, clean flavor. When the chips reach that perfect golden color, crispy, aromatic, and just right, they're lifted out of the fryer. And if you notice everything on the line gently vibrating, that's completely intentional. Because Lay's Classic chips are ultra-thin and fragile, the entire system, from conveyors to chutes to transfer points, is designed to shake gently, just enough to move the chips forward without cracking them. If they used regular rotating belts like they do with raw potatoes, all you'd get in the bag would be a pile of crumbs. And nobody's paying for a bag of potato dust. Next, the chips pass through a state-of-the-art optical sorter that scans over 400 slices per second. This machine acts like a hypersensitive pair of eyes, constantly on the lookout for brown spots, burnt edges, or any surface defects. If a chip doesn't meet the standard, the machine responds instantly, firing a pinpoint jet of air, accurate down to the millimeter, to blow that slice right out of the product stream and into a separate reject tray. Thanks to this lightning-fast inspection step, when you open a bag of Lay's, you're almost guaranteed to find perfectly golden, crispy, intact chips, at least while they're still inside the factory. Right after leaving the fryer, the golden, crispy chips get a light dusting of salt to enhance their basic flavor. But the real magic, the signature Lay's taste, happens in the next step: seasoning. Natural spice blends like chili, black pepper, and herbs are funneled through a dispensing tube inside a giant rotating drum. As the drum spins, the seasonings are evenly distributed, coating both sides of each chip in a thin, flavorful layer. Just a few spins in this specialized mixing barrel are enough to ensure every chip is perfectly seasoned from edge to edge. And since the chips are still hot at this stage, the seasoning sticks like a charm. At this point, random batches are pulled for quality checks before packaging. Inspectors test everything from crunch and flavor to color and seasoning coverage, making sure every bite lives up to Lay's standards. After seasoning, the chips are carried upward by a bucket conveyor to the upper level, where a high-speed weighing system with 120 heads gets to work. It calculates the optimal combination of chips from different trays to hit the exact target weight for each bag. Whether it's a 1-ounce snack size or a 13-ounce party pack, every portion is measured down to the chip. Finally, the chips are sent down to the packaging machines on the ground floor. Once the bag is filled, the machine flushes it with nitrogen gas, replacing the oxygen to help keep the chips from going stale too quickly. Then, the bag is heat-sealed shut. That nitrogen also creates the signature air pocket in every Lay's bag. It's not just for show. It acts as a cushion to protect the delicate chips during shipping. The finished bags are then neatly packed into cardboard boxes and sent off to the palletizing area. There, the boxes are stacked onto large pallets and tightly wrapped in durable plastic film to keep everything secure and stable during transport. And then comes the final step. The fully loaded pallets are lifted onto trucks, ready to roll out and deliver crispy, golden snacks to Lay's fans all over the world. And that's how those irresistibly crispy Lay's potato chips are made. But what about you? Can you stop at just one chip? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you won't miss any of our upcoming episodes. And if you've got a fellow Lay's lover in your life, go ahead and share this video with them too.